Hello and good day, Dr. Narendran and staff from Ministry of International Trade and Industry Malaysia. We are from Group 3. Now, my teammates and I will present about international business policy on Malaysian perspective.
My name is Ng Sun Xiang, machine number 261446. Today, I would like to explain about what we have to do in this report. International business policy is a policy that is followed by the company in Malaysia. The instruction that organization develops to control its conduct are known as business policy. Business policy also address the acquisition of resources necessary to meet corporate objectives. This report is related to Malaysian international business policy. The report will clearly show the external factors such as the Malaysia political, economic, legal and technological environment in Malaysia which can affect the business policy set by the government. Other than that, the report is rated the Malaysian government influence on trade. There are few methods that are used by the government such as tax and some efficiency facilities. Besides, the Malaysian cross-national cooperation and agreement is also vital in the business policy in Malaysia. Moreover, the report interprets a few types of approach in the preferential trade agreement. The concept of the direct investment and collaborative policy are going to be passed. The operations mode and the benefit for those elements will be figured out. The strategy, alliances, and network works for the company should be grasped for the company to change themselves from local toward international. There is the little content in the international marketing policy, and that content is significant in the operation of a business. Thank you.
Hi, good day, Doctor. My name is John Leefen, metric number 261700. In this part, I will talk about the Malaysian political and economic environment. For the Malaysian political environment, Malaysia is a country with a federal constitutional monarchy and a parliamentary democracy. The administrative component of Malaysia consists of three branches, namely executive, judicial, and legislative. The leader of the Malaysian government is the Prime Minister, and he has administrative powers including law enforcement and management of the country's daily affairs. Also, Malaysia is a multi-party democracy country. Barisan Nasional is the most famous political party that composed of three main ethnic parties of UMNO, MCA, and MIC. However, in the year of 2018, the opposition party led by Tun Dr. Mahathir, Pakatan Harapan, won the general election. In February 2020, Tan Sri Dato Muhyiddin Yassin was appointed as Prime Minister, and the Pakatan Harapan that dominated the government was formed. Nonetheless, corruption does exist and is a major problem in Malaysia. With the arrest of many well-known politicians, the problem of political corruption has become prominent. In the year of 2020, Malaysia's Transparency International Corruption Perception Index ranked 57 out of 180 countries. This shows that Malaysia's ranking is slightly higher than the Southeast Asia average, but much lower than countries such as Singapore and Hong Kong. For the economic environment, Malaysia is the fourth largest economy in Southeast Asia. Since independence, it has successfully diversified its economy from an agricultural and commodity sector to a strong manufacturing and service industry. With abundant natural resources, Malaysia is the world's second largest producer of palm oil and tropical timber, and also is the fifth largest exporter of rubber. Furthermore, in terms of economic transition, a large amount of foreign investment has been attracted. It has become the main outsourcing destination for electrical and manufacturing components after China and India. Also, due to the improvement in service industry, the tourism sector has contributed for more than 7% of GDP and attracted 26.1 million of foreign tourists. This results that Malaysia has become one of the main tourist destinations in Southeast Asia.
Hi, my name is Siti Kamila binti Osman. My metric number is 261135. So first, I will explain about the Malaysian legal environment, and next, I will explain about the Malaysian technological environment. So for the first part is the Malaysian legal environment. There are 3 points that I will talk about, which is first is a common legal system, second is written, unwritten, and also Sharia law, and third is the British law. So first, I'll explain about the common legal system. Common legal system is primarily based in Malaysian law. So this occurred directly because of Britain's colonization of Malaya, Sarawak, and also North Borneo from the early 19th century to the 1960s. So the Constitution of Malaysia, which is the Malaysia's nation's highest body, established the legal framework and rights of Malaysian citizens. So Malaysian law also applied to Australia and India in other jurisdictions. Like for example, the Malaysian Code of Criminal Procedure was enacted under the Indian Codes of Criminal Procedure. Malaysian contract law is based on the Indian model, while Malaysian land law is based on the torrent system in Australia, like the very finest of the federal government. Laws, court, and other administrative functions shall be stipulated by law. Why? Because it defines governments and monarchs, their powers, and the rights of citizens. Furthermore, for the second point, Malaysian law is separated into two categories, which is unwritten and written law. Written law is a law that is not found in a statute, but is discovered in the adjudication of a case. So this is referred to as like a common law or case law. So with the exception of the Commonwealth of Malaysia, the dual system declares that Islamic law is a matter of a state law. In Malaysia, Islamic law is known and written as Sharia, which means Sharia law. So the court is known also as the Sharia court. And Sharia law has a little influence in the development of rules that solely apply to Muslims in this country. So the Sharia court has civil law jurisdiction over personal law matters such as like marriage, inheritance, and apostasy. For the third point, finally, Malaysia is appearing to be subject to British law or general law. Why I say like this? Because UK law may apply in situations where no law has been enacted. So like in 2007, the Supreme Court of Malaysia questioned the need for common law in the UK, despite having been independent for 50 years. So on the other hand, the Malaysian Bar Association said common law is part of Malaysian law. So in the country of modern Malaysia, many new legislative laws have been introduced and more legislative is underway, but common law continues to play an important role. So first, I will explain about the rapidly industrialized economy, which is NIE. So Malaysia is one of the most digitally connected countries in the world. In 2019, nearly 91% of citizens were using the internet, but by the end of 2025, that number is projected to rise to around 97%. So Malaysia is also a fast-growing Asian economy and seeks for emulate the experience of Asia's rapidly industrialized economy, NIE. So by they shifting to an innovation-led, cutting-edge, creative-based development model. So because of this, Malaysia is classified as one of the countries with the ability to independently develop new technologies. Second point, I will explain about the international market expansion destination. So Malaysia has long been a well-known destination in the US for expanding its global market. For example, like IBM, HP, Intel, Google, Amazon, and Cisco are just like the few of the major US companies with offices in Malaysia. So because of this, the Malaysian government has launched a number of initiatives aimed at propelling the advanced economy forward, including they want to encourage enterprise to adopt innovative ideas and enabling them to computerize enterprises. Lastly, for the high-speed technology. Furthermore, considering the development of high-speed technology in Malaysia, it is possible to consider developing a unique technology development strategy based on NIE through appropriate changes, considering the characteristic of the economy. So like the most popular online networking sites in the country are like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube. So I think by 2025, Malaysia must aspire to become a desirable location for high-tech companies. The government is doing anything to achieve that goal. So I hope they bring IT into their daily life and remain relevant here. So nevertheless, wholesale imported NIE technology development model is not like the best choice for Malaysia. Consider that each of these economies follow different technological growth path to reach the high-tech market. So obviously, Malaysia will have to change the technology growth patterns of other countries to get the most out of them. So anyway, many Malaysian companies are concerned about the shortage of local skill level in response to the rapidly changing computer innovation, global needs and challenges. So that's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Maira binti Abdurrahman and my metric number is 261194, and I will be sharing about Malaysian government influence on trade. Most emerging economies, including Malaysia, have been heavily controlled and protected with strict industry regulation and import controls. Due to the global economic challenges, Malaysian government has pursued a number of initiatives to boost the country's growth and development, including growing export, keeping the economy open, developing trade agreements, and improving trade facilitation programs. This shows that clearly the Malaysian government has a significant influence on the trade of the country. Malaysia and Singapore have strong economic and financial ties that include bilateral trade, investment, and tourism. In order to deepen the two countries' economic ties, the government has endorsed the double tax agreement that assists people and businesses in avoiding burden of double income taxes. The DTA aims to make it easier for trade, investment, and technological know-how to flow freely between the two countries. Furthermore, this pact intends to eliminate double taxes. For instance, in Malaysia, the Singaporean tax will be accepted as a credit against any corresponding local Malaysian tax, and Malaysian tax will be applied as a credit against a similar local tax in Singapore. The goal of this credit calculation is to avoid paying tax if the individual jurisdiction allows specific waivers, exemption, or grants. The process of trade involved a lot of documentation exchange, which in the past was processed manually. With the introduction of trade facilitation, firms and approving authorities and agencies will be able to exchange trade documentation more efficiently. There are two systems. First is National Single Window. The NSW Trade Facilitation System in Malaysia was launched in 2009 by the Ministry of Finance as an initiative of Malaysian government to enable for a streamlined and transparent procedure by connecting the trading community with relevant authorities through a single window. Moreover, it helped facilitate the electronic sharing of trade-related data. Furthermore, the system lowered the cost of conducting business, which helped improve trade efficiency and competitiveness globally. Next, focus group on trading across border FGTAB, led by Ministry of International Trade and Industry and the Federation of Malaysian Manufacturers to address the concerns related to mercantile export and imports. In addition, to establish and build on efforts to increase the conduct of global trade within Malaysia. Some of the most effective initiatives include lowering the number of documents required for import or export from 6 to 4, as well as consolidating the invoice and packing list into a single document for export. Furthermore, standardizing import and export process flow at main Malaysian port, then by improving 18 import and export process flows based on the best practices at Port Klang to speed up the import-export process. Lastly, reducing unnecessary regulatory burden RURB by building a different custom procedure for item imported into the free zone, which will be outsourced to all free zone businesses. Thank you. That is all from me. I will hand over to my next teammate to explain about another point.
My name is Nur Izli Natasha binti Izhar. My metric number 261475. I will present about Malaysia Cross-National and Agreement. Malaysia basically has signed 16 FTA and implement 14 FTA, which is 7 for bilateral and 7 for regional. There are 3 approaches to accomplish general integration, which are through the bilateral integration, regional integration, and also global integration. The first one is bilateral. Bilateral are known as an exchange of goods and services between two countries to promote trade and investment. To encourage trade and investment, the two countries will lower the tariff, import quota, and also export restriction. And for the second one is regional. Regional trading agreements signed by 2 or more countries to encourage the trade movement of goods and services across the border. The agreement include internal rules that member must adhere to. There are also certain type of regional trading agreement, which is preferential trade area and also custom union. And the last one is global integration. Global integration is the degree which to a company can use the same product and also method in different country. Global integration aim for economic efficiency on a global scale, promoting learning, cross-fertilization within the global network, and also reducing redundancy. There are certain benefits of cross-national cooperation and agreement. The first one, it can boost economic growth. Trade agreement may help member nation by increasing job possibility and also by lowering unemployment rate. It also can expanding market prospect and also can opening more investment opportunity. Second, it can improve quality and variety of good, which is business are compelled to develop high quality item as a result of rising competition. It does also provide customers with more option. Businesses may boost the customer happiness by offering a wide range of product with high qualities. And the last one, it can transfer of technology and knowledge sharing. It can develop a platform to share ideas, promote economic growth, and also through innovative technology, enhance collaboration between nations, and also accomplish goals that neither party could achieve on their own through sharing resource.
Hi, my name is Siti Zulaika and my metric number is 261136, and I'm going to explain about the direct investment and collaborative policies. First, foreign direct investment is when a company from a country made a business investment in another country. FDI happens when a company establishes overseas business operation in a foreign cooperation. There are two types of FDI. First is the greenfield investment. A greenfield investment happens when a firm starts a business in another country from scratch. The company will build new facilities for the new business. Second, merger and acquisition. Merger and acquisition happens when there are transactions in which two businesses unite in some form. A merger is the uniting of two firms of equal size to form a new larger entity. An acquisition happens when a larger corporation wants to buy a smaller firm and absorb the smaller firm's operation. Next, collaborative policy. A collaborative policy is an agreement between at least two parties who want to collaborate or cooperate on a commercial project. There are 5 basic types of collaborative policy. First, licensing. A licensing is a corporate arrangement in which one company grants another company a license to produce its product in exchange for a fee. Second, franchising. Franchising happens when a franchisor who creates the brand trademark or trade name and also the business system give the right to do the business to a franchisee who pays royalty under the franchisor's name and also involved in the process of distributing products or services. Third, management contract. A management contract is an agreement between the investors of a project with a management firm who is hired to coordinate and supervise a contract. Fourth, turnkey operation. A project that is contracted so that it will be sold to a buyer as a complete product is known as a turnkey operation. Lastly, joint venture. A joint venture is a partnership agreement between two or more corporate entities to start a new collaborative economic activity. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, doctor. My name is Ng Kai Tian, matrix number 261697. Now, I'm going to talk about the strategic alliances and networks work. First of all, strategic alliances are created when two or more businesses pool their resources and collaborate to achieve a shared objective, while strategic networks refer to the strategic alliances composed of numerous enterprises to compete with other networks and a single corporation. Strategic alliances are divided into three types, which are joint venture, equity strategic alliances, and non-equity strategic alliances. First, let me talk about the joint venture. The joint venture is also known as JV. It's a form of business partnerships between two or more companies where they agree to share their resources in order to complete particular tasks. The example of the joint venture that we can see is Proton and Geely. Next, for the equity strategic alliances, it can be separated into two parts, which are partial acquisitions and cross-equity transactions. An example of these alliances is Tesla and Panasonic. For non-equity strategic alliances, it occurs when a corporation decides to contribute its resources and expertise without creating a separate entity or sharing equity. This kind of partnerships is often looser and less formal than equity partnerships. In this case, McDonald's and Coca-Cola are well-known examples of this type of partnerships. Let us move to the comprehensive model of strategic alliances and networks. There are three aspects of strategic alliances, which are industry-based considerations, resource-based considerations, and institutions-based considerations. First, according to the industry-based view, there are 5 forces why companies decide to have strategic alliances and networks with others. There are horizontal alliances, entry barriers, upstream alliances with suppliers, downstream vertical alliances with buyers, and the last one is partnerships and networks that offer complementary products or services. Next, for the resource-based view, there are several aspects of strategic alliances and networks, which are value, reality, imitability, and organizations, which are also known as VRIO framework. And for the last one, the institution-based view consists of formal and informal aspects. The last part that I'm going to talk about is the advantages of strategic alliances and networks work. Strategic partnerships and networks work will bring many benefits for the company. For example, companies are able to improve their current business activity by having an alliances. The best example for this that we can see is Proton and Geely. Besides, by forming an alliances, a corporation can share its resources and experience. A notable illustration of this is Sony and Ericsson. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Tong Ziqing, metric number 261454. Now I will explain about the international marketing policy. International marketing is the extent to which marketing plans and process should be integrated across national borders. There are 4 basic marketing policies, which are product, price, distributions, and promotion policies. An international product policy involves all the decisions relating to the firm's product and service offerings in overseas markets. International product life cycle is a conceptual model that illustrates how a business progresses over time and across national boundaries. Product extension occurs where the companies in Malaysia extend the domestic product that is successful in the local market with few changes to other international markets. Product adaptation is viewed as a response to the market. On a country-by-country basis, marketing strategies are tailored to the characteristics of the local market. Product developments occur when many companies are now designing new products for foreign customers based on core and derivatives. International pricing decisions are often influenced by the degree of market globalization. A penetration price strategy aims to establish an important place in a highly competitive market, and its goal is to increase market share. It is beneficial when there is a mass market and the consumers are price sensitive. Price skimming refers to the firm's ability to skim the product by selling at a premium price. The product must be unique and the target customers must be able to pay at a high price. International promotion refers to promotional messages that are different from one country to the next, or campaigns are targeted to different regions. Promotion can be classified as either push or pull, while push relying on direct selling techniques and pull relying on mass media. Thus, most of the companies utilize a combination of both strategies. There are a few limitations on the international promotion strategies such as language barriers, cultural barriers, local response against advertising regulations, and also the media infrastructures. International distribution is known as a method, relationships, and fulfillments that companies put in place to get their product into international markets. Direct distribution is a supply chain technique which products are delivered directly from the producer to the end user without any use of intermediates. Direct distribution usually succeeds and are performed well for high-priced products. Indirect distribution refers to the responsibility of selling products in foreign countries to an agent or export house. That's all from me. Thank you.
Through this research, we can know that international business policy in Malaysia is very important for a company to form an international company from a local company. They need to follow those business policy and cooperate with foreign companies so that they can move towards their goals of forming an international company. Once they follow those policies that figure out here, the ranking for those companies will increase in the world. Nevertheless, a legitimate and wise business policy will increase the competition and lower world price. It will provide benefit to the consumers by increasing their purchasing power and thus lead a rise in consumer surplus. The business policy will also help the company to show direction and guide them toward the right ways. Thank you.